Our top story now in the latest on the Kerala boat tragedy. At least 22 people, including women and children, died when a boat with dozens of passengers aboard overturned and sank. This was near the Tuvalthiram beach in the Tanur area of Malappuram district of Kerala on Sunday night.
Fire and police units, officials from revenue and health departments and locals from Tanur and Tirur areas of the district were involved in the rescue operation. According to the police, the incident occurred at around 7 p.m. and those who were taken out were admitted to nearby government and private hospitals. Initial reports suggest that the boat was crowded and those who were aboard, those who were on board were not wearing life jackets.
Well, there you can see this morning as well the search operations continuing. The Prime Minister has condoled the loss of lives. He announced a compensation of 2 lakh each to the family of the victims. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan as well, and he has directed the Malappuram district collector to carry out coordinated emergency rescue operations.
हमें जैसा सूचना मिली कि 30 लोग एक नाव पलटने के कारण डूब गए हैं, तो हम यहाँ पर रात को 1:30 बजे आकर पहुँचे और पहुँचते हमने हमारा जो है सर्चिंग का ऑपरेशन शुरू किया। हमारे पहुँचने से पहले यहाँ पर लगभग 20 जो है लोगों को निकाला गया है, डेड बॉडीज, और अभी जो हमारा ऑपरेशन जो है चालू है। हमारे डीप डाइवर्स और हमारी रेस्क्यू टीम अभी लगातार पानी में सर्चिंग कर रही है।
കാഷ്വാലിറ്റി പ്രധാനമായിട്ടും 21 പേര് കാഷ്വാലിറ്റി ആയിട്ടുണ്ടെന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലാണ് നമുക്ക് നിലവിൽ ഇവിടെ ഇന്ന് ലഭിക്കുന്ന ഒരു വിവരം. അതുകൂടാതെ നമുക്ക് 9 പേര് തന്നെ ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ അഡ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെന്നും പോലീസിൽ നിന്ന് ഭാഗത്ത് നമുക്ക് അറിയാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു. 5 പേര് ഇവിടെ തന്നെ രക്ഷപ്പെട്ട 5 യുവാക്കൾ ഇവിടെ തന്നെ സമീപപ്രദേശത്ത് തന്നെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
All right, so very, very tragic there, this boat overturning. It was the summer holidays or the holiday period for these young children, and they were out for a joyride with their families, and many of the children are said to have gotten stuck under the boat.
That's right, and larger questions are also, of course, being raised on the security provisions being made, given the fact that they were not wearing life jackets, and there were women and children, of course, also among those who have died. So an extremely tragic incident there. And what we're also being told is that there was no fitness certificate as far as this particular boat is concerned. So those larger questions remain still unanswered.
You can see divers as well, and every time there's an accident like this, these sort of questions are raised, and we find out about various security measures not being taken, overcrowding. This was one of those 2-story boats. It seems that there were some on the lower part and others passengers on the upper part of the boat, and it capsized with many of them getting stuck. And also Vedant, that usually in these boats, especially abroad, you're told various things before the journey. You're told what your response should be, SOPs, etc. But it seems in this case, it was just all of them were stuffed into this boat and taken for this ride in the water, and no sort of security provisions were taken. No information was also shared with the passengers, is what the initial report seemed to suggest.
That's right, and rescue operations are underway. Of course, paramilitary forces and district administration are conducting rescue operations. Let's in fact go across to Uma for further details in terms of what the initial reports at least seem to suggest.
Much continuing. It's not just the NDRF but also the Coast Guard and Navy which have got into the act. And yes, this accident happened late in the evening yesterday. In fact, we are told that it is in fact a large trip that was being undertaken by the recreational boat. This was a tourist boat. It is a double-decker boat. It is called Atlantic. And what we understand is that there were far more number of people on the boat than what should have been allowed according to safety norms, because all the rescuers have also reported that none of those people whose bodies they have retrieved or who they have saved were wearing a life jacket, which means no one on the boat was wearing a life jacket. This place is a place called Tuvalthiram, from where the boat had gone on its last trip, and it was on the return that the boat in fact capsized. And what made operations or rescue operations extremely difficult is that this was at least about 500 meters into the waters. Second, just a little distance away, the waters in fact joined the sea. Third, the bottom of this place, I mean, it's quite deep and it is muddy, is what we are told. And therefore, once the boat overturned, there were people on both the deckers, and in fact, we are told there were families that were there on the lower deck of the boat, and there were children as well, and it became extremely impossible for them, in fact, to get out of the boat itself. Right now, reports suggesting that the boat did not have a fitness certificate, whether there was a license at all to operate, that is also coming under question. And, there was in fact an expert who had just about a month ago spoken about the safety measures being taken in boats like these and said that there is a disaster waiting to happen, and this is something that needs to be paid attention to, because he was mentioning about the fact that all safety norms, whether in terms of numbers, whether in terms of the safety jackets, or in terms of even instructions about what to do if something goes wrong on the boat, nothing of the sort, no protocols are being followed, and therefore he had said that something like this is likely. What I must point out is, yes, the President and the Prime Minister have expressed pain over the tragedy. There's a state mourning that's been declared in Kerala. Ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees announced to the families of the victims. We expect that the Chief Minister also is likely to be coming in here. What we also understand is that this is perhaps one of the biggest tragedies that has happened in Kerala in recent years. A similar tragedy that happened in 2009 claimed about 45 lives at that time.